I've legit seen you talk about Arizona like twice, maybe 3 times ever. All right, let's talk about Arizona basketball because this is a team that I have a lot of thoughts about. I want to start things off by talking about the man in charge, Tommy Lloyd, in the middle of his 3rd season at the helm. To me, it's undeniable that Lloyd is a top 5 coach in college basketball. I can understand if some people don't want to give him his flowers yet because he is just 2 seasons into his head coaching career, but he already has a fantastic resume. Here's where we're at so far with Tommy Lloyd. 70-12 record all-time, 32-8 in conference play, 13-5 against top 25 competition, won the Pac-12 regular season in year 1, won the Pac-12 tournament each of the last 2 years, was AP Coach of the Year his first season. Arizona gets a 1 seed in the NCAA Tournament, advances to the Sweet 16. Arizona gets a 2 seed in the NCAA Tournament last year. Don't have to talk about what happened after that. Lloyd has the most wins ever through 2 seasons. Became the fastest Pac-12 coach in history to reach 50 wins. He did that in 57 games. Maybe he doesn't quite have the tournament success yet, but I think that's coming. It's already a fantastic resume, and I think he's going to add to it this year. The second thing I want to talk about is Caleb Love. People might forget, but this was viewed as a huge risk for Tommy Lloyd to bring Caleb Love into the program. Love was scapegoated for the collapse at North Carolina last year, and he was kind of an easy target because of his style of play. At its worst, it devolved into inefficient shot chucking. But I think Love received an unfair amount of blame for what went down in Chapel Hill last year. He certainly contributed to some of the issues, but it wasn't all on him, and he still brings a lot to the table as a basketball player. When it came time for him to transfer, that was sort of overlooked. And up to this point in the season, this has worked out extremely well for all parties involved. Tommy Lloyd really looks like a genius for this because Caleb Love is having easily the most efficient season of his career. This is from Brian Ralph of Heat Check CBB. Love is registering career highs in field goal percentage, effective field goal percentage, and assist rate, career low in turnover rate, career highs in offensive rating and offensive box plus minus. He's also been significantly improved as a defender, career high in defensive box plus minus by a wide margin, and a career high in steal percentage. Entering the year, Arizona was picked 12th in the preseason poll, which never made a whole lot of sense to me. Adding Caleb Love, adding Keyshawn Johnson, who was just a starter in the national championship game for San Diego State, bringing back Ballo, bringing back Larson, Boswell poised to take a jump in his second year. This is a really good roster. Knowing Tommy Lloyd's system, seeing how it's produced consistent winning over the last 2 seasons, this should have been at least a top 10 team in the preseason poll, if not higher than that. And just look how balanced this team is across the board. 5 guys averaging double-digit points, a bunch of guys pulling in rebounds, 3 guys averaging 3 or more assists. Taking a look over at KenPom, Arizona is 2nd overall, 6th in offensive efficiency, 2nd in defensive efficiency. They're doing that while being 4th in tempo. The Wildcats are really good on both ends, and they play fast. This is a dangerous team. Arizona hasn't been messing around in terms of competition either. The Wildcats are top 30 in strength of schedule. Second game of the season, they went into Cameron Indoor and took down the Duke Blue Devils. They also have a win over Michigan State. We'll see how that one ages for them. Then they have this stretch of games in December where they were essentially slated to play 4 top 25 teams in a row. They get the blowout win over Wisconsin, take their lone loss of the year so far to Purdue, which you can't even really fault them for. The Boilermakers are an elite team. It's a semi-home game for Purdue played in Indiana, and Arizona didn't play poorly, so there's really no shame in that loss. Last night they took down Alabama. The Tide have taken a couple losses in a row to some really good teams and have fallen out of the top 25, but they're a top 25 team in the country for sure. And then on Saturday, Arizona will play FAU in the Desert Holiday Classic. So Arizona has a top 5 coach, a really good roster. They've been playing very well against high-quality competition. I think they're far and away the best team in the Pac-12. And by the time March rolls around, I expect the Wildcats to be poised to give Tommy Lloyd his first deep tournament run.